all the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champions' coolest campaigns and characters. Every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CNE Games, or later on your favorite podcast service, B. Dave Walters and Erin M. Evans talk about all the Idle Champions lore that's fun to know about. If you're here with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will ask them later in the show. But until then, Erin, B. Dave, take it away.
Hi, I'm Erin M. Evans. I'm the author of the Brimstone Angels saga, a 6-book series featuring two of your favorite tieflings from Idle Champions, Frida and Havilar. I also played Havilar in Idle Champions Presents, which just wrapped up. And I play Cecilia on Dungeon Scrawlers.
B. Dave Walters, I say words about things. I come up with projects expressly to be able to spend more time with Erin. I was the Dungeon Master for Idle Champions Presents, which will return.
Good.
And do all kinds of stuff, but most importantly, tomorrow at 4 Pacific, Black Dice Society is starting on the D&D YouTube and Twitch. We're gonna be doing a little bit of Ravenloft.
Just a smidge, just a smidgen,
a skosh,
yeah,
a sousson of existential dread.
As soon as anything Ravenloft happened, it's just gonna be on the stream, just like.
I feel like all of us are living with a sousson of existential dread right now. By the way, just.
Very good point.
If we're just putting that out there, are we not all in a domain of dread right now? Think about it.
That's too real. That's too real.
I made it weird. Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
How dare you talk about real things in this fantasy lore show?
I'm already getting in a mind of personal horror. Sorry. I have a knife to twist tomorrow. I'm practicing.
So yeah, this is our we're doing an extra episode. It's the Spring Extravaganza. Ooh. And we thought it would be fun to kind of talk about and recap Idle Champions Presents. And all the cool things that happened and maybe all the cool things that didn't happen.
So I want you to know something. I want you to know 2 things, dear viewer. First of all, for whatever reason, doing this episode today just would not stick in my brain. I've probably been reminded 3 times, and when my clock went off this morning, I still was like, what? Oh, so it's a perception filter. But last night, I was thinking about some of my favorite moments from the show, and I was repeatedly thinking about Havilar and some of the things Havilar said over the course of the show. and I got a little bit of a sad that I'm like, I won't see Havilar again anytime soon. So my request is I would like to know,
yes,
Zone of Safety, Havilar's recap of what happened.
Yes, please.
Because it isn't what Erin remembers, it's what Havilar remembers.
All right. Are we doing both of them? We're doing so because it's 2 parts, right? There's
Yeah,
Unfair Seas and
Unfair
then the Fool's
Seas.
Errand.
And they flowed right into each other.
It was a busy week. Yep. Okay.
All right.
Really, it's technically, I guess it's like a busy 3 days. If you look at all in. Yeah. No, we said they were with the Drow for a week.
Hang out.
So yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right. Okay. So first, I got an invitation from Freely to go to a party or a meetup or something. I didn't read that part. In this town, Echo Bay. Was it Echo Bay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And I went, and Frida was like, you shouldn't just go running off. And I was like, I'm going to go whether you like it or not. Just because you didn't get invited doesn't mean I don't get to go. So when I got there, I met Baloth, who is a very impressive drow, who has a djinn that I think might be his boyfriend, but I'm not clear on what I met Ariza, who is amazing. She has the prettiest wings I have ever seen. And I've seen some wings. And Black Viper, who has the coolest chapbooks ever. They're very exciting. I don't know if she'll like them because sometimes she doesn't steal the stuff. It's romance. And I'm not sure how she feels about that. And
She's stealing hearts.
And then Melf, who was not still mad at me about the time that I made him attack a demon when he maybe wanted to do something else. Am I forgetting anybody? I think that was everybody. Oh, it didn't count me. That's why. Okay. So Freely was like, I got you here for a party, but somebody has a problem. There's this ship that hasn't come back. And I want to help this person. And people were various degrees of interested in that. I was interested because I was thinking sea monster fights. I don't get to fight enough sea monsters. I feel like I would be really, it turns out I am pretty good, but there's different levels of sea monster. I'm better at some than others. I need more practice. And we watched a crab fight, and the crab flipped the other crab, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use that. But I think I can flip something with my glaive. I'm pretty sure. And then this priest figured that because Asmodeus is up in my business, that somehow means that I am on the same level as him, the priest of Umberlee, who does not seem very nice. But I got a present out of it. I got a box that makes stuff. Particularly, it makes very good sandwiches. I haven't branched out a lot. I like the sandwiches. So then something weird happened, and all these geese showed up. And then we fought the geese, and they made me queasy because that's usually a sign there's some abyssal magic going on. There was definitely bad stuff. So we asked who might have done that. And it turned out there was a chapel full of those creepy priests. And we went there, and it turned out they weren't just creepy. They were were-sharks, or at least one was a were-shark. So we had to fight, and we fought. And then also the temple started filling with magic water, and Black Viper almost drowned without actually breathing water. And it was very creepy, but we fixed it. And then we realized we saw a sign of a frog, and there was another building with a frog. And when we got out, Freely and Zuni were both gone, and we freaked out. And I freaked out the most. So I called the imps, who are sometimes helpful, but also, boy, do they mouthy. And they yelled at me, and I said, go find Zuni. And they left. And then Bubbles showed up the first time, because Bubbles kept coming. And Bubbles turned us, first she wanted to help me talk to Treavor, who is Freely's tiny pirate, he's a parrot, and he has a pirate suit. And, but it didn't work, and I sounded really weird and loud, and, well, at least everybody had to listen to me, but it turned out Ariza could just talk to the parrot, which was really quite helpful. And if Bubbles had slowed down, maybe we would have figured that out. But they said, she said we all had, then we had to go to the warehouse full of gibbering mouthers. We had to fight those. That was a mess. Melf kept just attacking and hitting everybody. But I'm going to hear that in my nightmares.
That's your new stress dream. Sorry, Havilar.
Yeah, but I stabbed it in the face. One of the faces. And then Bubbles showed up. I don't remember if Bubbles showed up before that or after that, because that was when the rhyming happened. She made us look, we found a secret passage down to this cove that they were in. She made us all look like pirates, but then we had to rhyme. And I'm going to tell you, my brain does not want to rhyme. My brain wants to hit things with the glaive. So I had to think really hard, but everybody was talking so fast. So I kind of missed some bits of this. We went down, we met this drow guy who said he was going to help us. And when we went down, he had a submarine, and the submarine was very helpful. But there were all these ghosts on the ship, and there was something creepy happening. And then there were monsters in the water, and I ran out on the water, and I attacked the monsters because Ariza was getting pulled in, and I was fighting the monsters on the water, which was very cool until the shark jumped out of the water, which seems unfair because it's supposed to stay in the water, and it bit me. And then anyway, we got on the ship and we sailed out, and it turned out there was a dark ritual happening in the basement of the ship, I think it's called. I'm not sure. But that's where Zuni and Freely were. So the matron Hoistsail, who was the super evil Umberlee priestess that we were warned about, was doing this ritual. And it turned out that she was trying to call a kraken, which is like an ultra octopus. It's the biggest one. And it was grabbing the ship, and it was pulling the ship down, but it wasn't all the way there. So we were fighting it. And I was like chopping those tentacles, and I was stabbing and slashing, and I was like, Black Viper, hit it there! And we were doing all of that stuff. Meanwhile, Baloth and Melf were trying to break the ritual. Also, we pulled Zunia and Freely out real early because that was an important part. We did not want them to die. But then Baloth got out of there on his flying carpet, which is amazing. And I also want a flying carpet, but I don't think Zuni can ride on it, so maybe not. And he flew out, and he did this big spell. He did this big banishment, and he banished the Kraken. So we all didn't die. And then we got on the submarine. This, by the way, is how Havilar recaps things. So I hope you were prepared for that.
greater than what I expected.
This is the best
Yes.
thing ever. In fact, when the next Idol Champions Presents happens, this needs to play before it. We need to cut this part out and play it before it.
Just in case, like, previously on Idol Champions Presents. So, okay. Right.
So then we spent a while, like a 10-day maybe, on that submarine, the red submarine. It was called the Scarlet Marpenoth, which is kind of a strange name. But those guys, those drow, are from this group. I think it's called the Bragan Darth. And so they were sort of like sneaky secret society a little bit, but also they were very nice to talk to. I don't love being in a submarine particularly, but Ariza really doesn't like being in a submarine. It made her feel very sick, which I am sympathetic to because I hate being nauseous. It means I gotta fight demons. So then the ship came out in this town called Harnsworth, I think. I don't remember great because as soon as we got out, there was a big party going on and the people were like, hey, there's a drinking contest happening. And I was like, you know what sounds great after getting off a submarine in a strange town? Drinking contest! So we all went to the tavern and Zuni had to stick her head in through the window because she would have knocked all the tables over. And there was this half-orc doing a drinking contest, and that was Briv. And Briv had a lot of fancy names for his drinking, but I forgot it for reasons that will become clear shortly. It turns out Briv also had this friend, Alindra, who is a very fancy elf. She is also very pretty, and she knows a lot of things. She's also a little bit of a stick in the mud. I think her and Frida would get along. But I took the challenge. I did the drinking contest with Briv, and there were 3 rounds. I only remember the last one. Because, like I said, it tastes like licorice and bad choices. And he said Briv won. I still felt like a winner anyway, even though it was a little hard to walk afterwards. And then we heard sounds of Freely yelling. So, and then I said, Zuni, go find Freely. But he didn't think about the fact that Zuni was probably going to freak everybody out when she kind of tried to go. So everybody ran in, and then we had to jump out the window. It was a lot of mess. But we got out the window, so it wasn't a problem. And then we also heard there was another fire horse because they thought Zuni was a horse, but that happens a lot because it seems a little less upsetting than that's a giant Nessian warhound. I understand. So we went, we found Freely, and Freely had a new friend, which is Cinnamon, the red panda. And she goes like this, and she's so cute. But there are these dogs that were menacing Cinnamon, and we are all like, what are we going to do? Because we don't want to just kill a bunch of dogs. That seems unfair, even though they are trying to eat Cinnamon, pretty sure. So we tried a bunch of things, but the 2 best things, I think, were Baloth made an illusion of lots of red pandas, which were riding on these little one-wheelie things, and they had top hats, and they had sausages, and they had steak, and they were like, look, dog, look, dog, look, dog, look. And then Ryza sang this song about booping the snoots of the dogs, and she fed them some bar nuts that she had taken that I kind of wish she hadn't, because I wanted to eat the bar nuts too. But I have a sandwich box, so I can always have bar nuts. But the dogs kind of got a little less hungry, and then they noticed the pandas, and they ran away, which was great because nobody wanted Cinnamon to get eaten. And so we were like, yeah, we saved the day and we found Freely. But then we heard some noise, and there was this guy, and he was some kind of a wizard. And I think his name was like Arbalest Buyer Clank or Alabaster Booty Clap or something. But he just kept yelling and summoning things. There was some spine devils, and I hate those guys. And Alindra helped. She said, oh, I saw this. And then Baloth cast a banishment. And so one of them was gone. And so we only had to fight one. But then he called in a bunch of closets too. And those are even worse because they're really annoying and they make me nauseous. So we fought those guys, all those things. Baloth killed that guy, Haberdasher Blanky Bark. I don't remember. But he's dead now. And that's a big deal because he was a serious wizard. And then, okay, so that was done. And then by then, all that bad licorice choice was wearing off. It was a lot of adrenaline. And this lady showed, oh, I forgot the part where the nightmare came. A nightmare came. That was the fire horse. A nightmare came and it was mad and it was gonna attack Zuni. I didn't want that, so I offered her some whiskey. That slowed her down because she was a very pretty dog. She was a pretty horse. I think we could have been friends, but you know who was really good friends with her was Briv. Briv also likes big animals and all animals, I think, because he also loved cinnamon. So Briv talked to the nightmare and convinced the nightmare to calm down. Oh, also there were these guys who were trying to fight because they wanted Baloth to notice them, because Baloth hires people to do that. So the nightmare was supposed to come back. What's up?
Can I just insert one important detail that you left out of your story here?
Yes.
Your very pretty dress.
I did. Oh my goodness, I forgot Bubbles came back again. And this time she did not mess anybody's voice up. So I appreciated that. But she made us all look amazing for this party. I had a strawberry dress, a dress with jewel strawberries all over it. I had to cut some slits so that I could do my little leapy jumpy thing with the glaive, but it was worth it. Plus, I got to put the slits exactly where I wanted them. So it was kind of better. And Zuni was covered in glitter. And Baloth had this big hair and these very tight pants on. Everybody looked amazing. And so then that was done. But then another person showed up and they're like, oh no, I have a problem. Because this is what happens when you're a hero. Everybody shows up and says they have a problem. So this lady came and she said, my husband has gone to prank the frost giants, which you would think nobody would do. But there was a lot of booze happening in this festival. So I think that was part of it. So we had to go up and see if we could save him. There was a whole thing with some owlbears, which I was still a little bit confused about. But then we got there and the frost giant had imprisoned everybody, but he left because he was so mad that they pranked him because they put itching powder in his underwear. That doesn't sound like fun, especially if you don't know it's coming. And then we said, okay, let's go back down. So the guy that did the prank, Bjorn, it was Bairn, took us to this log flume and we had to build a raft and we had to ride a raft down. It was so fun. And we actually even got to have a fight in the middle with some otters, except we didn't hurt the otters because they didn't know any better. So then we got down to the bottom and then, oh no, here come the giants. The giant and his ogres. And he was really mad, but actually I think he was just really hurt right here. And he just had a lot of fighty feelings. So we did a little bit of like play fighting, like sparring, like get that energy out, because sometimes when that builds up, you really got to hit something. And if you're a giant and you hit something, it's probably going to be dead. And so we talked to him and he decided instead of crushing the village and killing everybody in it, maybe we should throw a party. And Ariza planned an amazing party and we all helped. And Briv had a delicious spread of food, and Baloth made these amazing decorations of like lights and illusions, and Alindra taught the ogres to chill out and not go crazy. And then everybody came and there was foam. And I forgot another thing. Bubbles came back one more time and she turned us into pandas. So we were all red pandas while we did this, but we were fabulously attired red pandas. So that's how we saved Hornsworth and had a foam party as pandas.
I'm going to be playing the role of Garlock as Havilar drunkenly finishes that story. That is awesome!
Yeah. I'm like, thank you all for tuning in. Short episode because we cannot follow what Erin's just done. So there you go. Just see it. We'll see you Monday. Yeah.
Did I leave anything out?
Brava.
No,
that's perfect. Again, they should absolutely play that before the next one.
That should be the recap. That should be the recap. That'll be the whole pre-lead up there is Havilar joking what happened up until now. Yeah. Nope. Very much. Loved it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So no, really. Better than I'd hoped. Thank you so much.
Can't even think.
It's gonna live rent free in my head for a while now. So there was one person that didn't get mentioned there in the midst of this sea of wonderfulness, which is Iris, our beloved friend.
I forgot Iris. She's gonna be so mad.
That's all right, darling. You had a lot to keep track of.
I want you to know, viewers,
I love Iris.
This was literally my face through the entire run of this show. Anytime Havilar or Iris spoke, I'm just so happy.
I think I told you, it so happens none of us are wearing our Idol Champion shirts, but you know that beholder on the Idol Champions logo, that's Iris. And so she is available as familiar in Idol Champions, and so that was why I described her as being so small, because she's going to be even though I guess technically she's supposed to be a full-size beholder, that's why I made her a smaller one. And I knew I needed to do something to make it clear that she wasn't an enemy, because, you know, beholders generally are negative. So I was like, how am I going to make her talk? And this happens more times than you would think, by the way. But when I opened my mouth and that's the voice that came out, I was like, here we are. This is Iris now.
And it was perfect.
Like,
absolutely perfect.
She's an old lady from the Bronx. I don't know why. Yeah. You know, I don't know that we've talked too much about beholders.
We haven't,
because I feel like we got as far as I can tell, we got a list of 4 things on that list that we haven't really discussed. We haven't really discussed beholders,
Halaster Blackcloak, or
Alabaster Booty Clap. Thank you for blessing us with what Havilar thought his name was, by the way.
That's that is gonna live in my head right now. I'm never gonna be able to play Mad Mage's Dungeon and not think that.
We have not talked about the Bregan Darth. And I guess we've kind of tiptoed around Frost Giants, but there's definitely more to say. So beholders. Beholders are aberrations.
They're aliens.
Yeah. Well, they're literally not from here. They don't even go. They literally don't even go.
Don't even go here.
Yeah. So two things that I always find interesting about beholders is, one, like it's funny, this whole like thread broke out on Twitter recently because nerds will fight about anything about whether or not beholders are racist. And I'm like, they're the ultimate supremacists. Beholders don't like other beholders. Like,
literally the reason you cannot pick an eye stock to damage, the reason you have to roll, was originally because the beholder knows more than the DM and chooses its own ray.
Wow.
That is the reason why you have to roll for which eye stock is used, because the creators are like, they're smarter than you.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Was an excellent mechanic. The other thing is, there's a handful of monsters in D&D that are quintessentially D&D. So much so, there's what's called the open gaming license, where anybody can kind of use as long as you credit it. And then there's some things that are only D&D exclusive, and beholders are one of those things. Even though floaty eye monsters have shown up a lot of places, they are never called beholders anywhere but Dungeons and Dragons. Yep. If you think about it, I don't know what, if any, the mythological roots of the beholder are. In fact, them being D&D exclusive, there aren't any. Like Gary Gygax was like, what if there was an eye with a lot of eyes and it was terrible?
They talk about it in Art and Arcana, which, by the way, viewers, if you have not checked out, it's fascinating for some of the stuff that's in there.
Yeah, I got a copy here somewhere.
But yeah, I remember there being something about beholders and getting the artwork for it, and then be like, we're doing that. Perfect.
Yeah. Like, can I interest you in an eyeball covered in eyeballs that shoots death?
Yeah. The real, like, just Wiki Prime Wikipedia says there's no fictional or mythological basis for the beholder. That is entirely.
Yeah. I mean, again, that makes sense that they're exclusive to D&D. So
someone named Terry Kuntz created it.
It's beholders. I mean, Umber Hulks, Displacer Beasts, Mind Flayers.
Yeah, there's
it's a fairly short list.
Yeah,
but like those 4 are all on it. Yeah. I know, because I have to be careful about what you do and don't say in places. To get you in trouble. Yeah. But they're aberrations. They're aliens. Like, again, aberrations are just not from this plane. Yeah, not from here. They are super genius. They are absolutely like the ultimate supremacist. They don't like anything, including other beholders. The Xanathar is probably the most popular one, although Iris thinks he's very overrated, by the way.
I'm so sad that I never got to do a voice for the Xanathar, so I don't know what he would sound like in my games.
The first one I heard is Todd Kenrick's Xanathar, that's what Iris was referring to, like why he hates Freely and Briv and Alindra, because they went to Waterdeep, and and got on the wrong side of the Xanathar. And Todd did him very derpy. Like, I am the Xanathar. And I was like, really? This is where okay.
Well, yeah, and Chris Perkins' voice for the Xanathar is like really like throaty and like deep. And I was like, I don't know. I think I would kind of play him a little bit more goofy.
I mean, but he's still a big old boy, though.
He is.
Yeah, I feel you get a good resonance in that like fleshy ball.
There's a certain amount, like if you sort of intrinsically believe yourself to be the pinnacle, right?
Yeah.
That I completely believe that he does not care what you think of his voice or his look or his awesome goldfish.
I think I was thinking about him like, what kind of voice would I do? And I'd be like, it would probably be some deep voiced dude, but sounds like he's constantly trying to like scratch a cat behind the ear. Oh, you want the scratchers?
Sure. It's the Elminster quote from Volo's Guide to Monsters was think you weave cunning schemes and elaborate intrigues with fallback plans and positions. Beholders change, refine, discard, and spin anew. Scores of such plans all the time. To the average beholder, human intrigues are the fumbling of babies, which is an important thing, by the way. That this is that whole like intelligent creatures act like they're intelligent. Beholders are still fairly tough in a fight with the things they could do. But this came up a lot with mind flayers and things that they're actually not that difficult if you actually fight them. So they have no interest in fighting you. Like, I mean, it's like very difficult to get there because they are kind of squishy. So like they've thought this through in advance. So your beholders should act like that. You know, they shouldn't just be like, I'm floating through the cave shooting anti-magic rays. You know? Yeah.
The party gets into the dungeon, some beholder slides out. Din, 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 din. Oh, I didn't realize you all were coming today.
Also, scrolling through the wiki here, just reminded myself, and it's got the freaking 3.5 art of all the different beholder.
Oh yeah, the beholderkin is wild.
Yep. I remember the lensman, the one that just looked like a caveman with an eye in the middle. Like, I wonder, like, okay. As an aside, I always wonder when wolves see things like chihuahuas and stuff, are they very happy or very disappointed? You know, because on a certain level, you won the game. Like, you get food and shelter and like it's all good. But at what cost?
I wonder if it's almost
at
like,
what cost?
Well, and this didn't really apply. I don't feel like it applies for beholder, but like if a wolf sees a chihuahua, is it sort of like the idea of a person in a horror movie seeing someone who's been horribly mutated by the Eldritch Evil?
Oh my god!
Probably.
Like, oh no!
We are the Eldritch Evil.
It must be destroyed. Yeah. You know.
Then a beholder's like,
oh, I've just now seen this
better.
Lensman. Oh, that is haunting.
Oh yeah, little bro. Yeah, that was 3.5, man. And you know, now that I know that again, all beholders look down on other beholders, they probably look way down on beholder kid.
Yeah. I do love gazers though. The little softball sized ones. They're adorable.
Okay, the kids I run a D&D game for have this bad habit of like digging through all the source books they can get their hands on while it's not their turn, and I can't break them of it. But they found Xanathar's guide to everything and was like, and they're like, oh my god, he's so cute. Looking at his little goldfish.
Love the goldfish.
I do feel like he deeply resents people wanting to give him like chin scritches, though. You know, and then disintegrate beam.
You know what's weird though? I actually remember the first time I ever saw a beholder because I got into D&D late. I remember being a teenager at Target and there was a Game Boy Advance box for Dungeons and Dragons Eye of the Beholder, and there was one of the and I was just kept looking at like, I don't understand anything about this image.
Yep.
Oh, have you guys seen I don't know if it was a dragon article or if it was something else, but like it was like an ecology of the beholder kind of like cutaway. Like, here's what the inside of beholder looks like, because it's a lot of eyeball, but it does have a mouth. It does eat things. Where does the digestive tract goes up behind the eyeball? Apparently, I just that job seems very fun to me. Here's this thing that we made to look creepy. Tell us how it would possibly poop.
You know, that comes up a lot. Like we
This
were
is
there
not
with
even the
Tiamat
first
on Monday. Yeah,
Twice now.
It's not even the first time on the show nor this week.
that's true. Yep.
A lot of people staying up at night going, what, but, what?
What
huh?"
but? What but?
You know, I'm just saying, here's the only reason why I've had to put so much thought into like what poops and how is you know what? I'm not here. I'm just gonna write in chat. I'm not gonna say it out loud here. Here you go. Watch their faces.
Oh no.
Because that's come up in games.
Oh no!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, not gonna say that out loud, kids. But
Inappropriate.
This is a PG-13 stream.
Shame on your players.
I didn't do it. It was the players, but I had to know.
Shame on your players.
Yeah, I had to know.
So okay, so what was the what was someone else that we wanted to cover? Because
Black Cloak.
Black Cloak, the Halaster man,
Yes.
Abalaster
Alistair.
booty clap.
Alastair Booty Clap, as he will now henceforth and forever be known, slain by Baloth.
Well, what's funny is like that doesn't terribly go away from like the ridiculousness I did with Halaster, because I did a level 20 game at the bookstore that I used to run games at for kids, and I gave them all level 20 characters and had them fight Black Cloak, and then I can't remember why. I think somebody banished him and he came back in like all giant and he had a Hawaiian shirt, shorts, and like a straw hat on, but he still was fighting them with his normal magic.
Like Master Roshi from yeah.
Yes!
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's up with the Halaster man?
Oh, what's not up?
I mean, he is a wizard, and the cheese is slid off his cracker. You know, like he and Elminster are rivals.
Oh, really?
And,
I didn't know
Is
that.
he- oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he one of Mistress Chosen? I think he's not. I think he's just really powerful. Like,
Yeah,
I
he's
can't
at least
keep him
1,100
straight.
years old.
Yeah. He is
I would like
checking up
I
some
would like to point out one thing. I know it has come up recently in sensitivity talks that no one should ever be referred to as mad, but Halaster is the Mad Mage, so this is that is traditionally that is what he is known as.
Mhm.
So he is dangerously unhinged.
Yes.
So to
And it's particular to if he's in Undermountain, he's like extra.
Yes.
Not in
Well,
touch with reality.
Yeah.
isn't
right?
he kind of bound there now? Like, can he?
I mean,
not-
he is
can't
till he isn't. You know.
Oh, I thought he couldn't
This
leave
is
there.
a character that's been in the realm since like Go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's had a lot of back and forth. He's got apprentices who are also
What?
extremely powerful wizards, some of which are also trapped in Undermountain.
I mean, also he is dead because Baloth killed him. Everybody saw
Right?
it.
I was right there.
So
See, yeah, and he can't leave Undermountain. Apparently, he was there.
Yeah.
Happened.
I mean, allegedly he died in 1375. Oh, but then he already came back. So yeah, no, he's like
He had a bunch of like clones and stuff
Yeah.
during the spell clones.
I mean, he's got the same thing going as a Sararak god. At least a Sararak is actually a lich, but it's like you're killed until you're not. So
Mm-hmm.
death becomes merely an inconvenience past a certain point of power. Although I think it's pending what happens to him in Dungeon of the Mad Mage is his most updated fate.
Yeah.
I think, you know, so it's whatever happens to him at your table is the current ellipsis of Halaster's fate, except for the fact that, again, he very clearly got killed by Baloth the Entertainer in Hornfirth, and there was a lot of witnesses.
A lot. So many.
You're gonna have to figure out how to retcon that for your game. How to explain what happened.
Awkward, because now it's canon.
I love the idea that some DM is like, and then Halaster, some player at the table, that's not canon.
Sod on Idle Champion presents, and Erin M. Evans repeated it, so that was said twice on the internet. Just is how it is now.
I love it.
Off in the distance, I can hear Perkins having a slight aneurysm. But yes, a very powerful wizard, very powerful apprentices. His art is incredible because he really does look like a mad mage.
I love his the cloak of many eyes, but it's like all like messed up and like they look like fleshy eyes. It's so cool.
Yep.
The cover for Dungeon of the Mad Mage is pretty good.
Yeah.
And actually, just to clarify, Undermountain is a dungeon.
Mega dungeon.
It's a mega dungeon. It's like 24 levels. Is that right?
Something
Anyway,
like
this
that.
is this creation of Alistair Blackcloak that he is entrapped by. That is below Mount Waterdeep, Mount Hope now, whatever we call it now, which is under Waterdeep, right? And there's a way you can get to Skullport, which is the sort of underdark part of Waterdeep, through Undermountain.
Skullport is where the Xanathar is.
Yep.
Usually.
All connect.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It's what was that?
Who was at that party?
2 adventures ago? Was it 2018? Was Dragon Heist and Dungeon of the Mad Mage?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what was and then last year was
Icewind
there he is.
Is it the
Ever
Mighty
vigilant.
Trovis?
Mighty Trovis still on the case. You know?
He's also in the I know him best from the Skullport expansion for Lords of Waterdeep.
So
He can
good.
play both Halaster and one of his apprentices, Trobriand, the Metal Mage.
Lords of Waterdeep's a great game.
Yes, so freaking good.
We played a game of Lords of Waterdeep in my house the other day, and we all tied. We all got the exact same points, and my husband won because he had 1 gold coin left. And I'm still just like, wow, that was bananas.
Victory.
I love that game.
Yep. Yeah, and he does have a number of clones. So now I can make it simple for you. At your table is one of Halaster's clones now, because the real Halaster 100% died during the Festival of Fools, slain by Baloth the Entertainer. Yep.
I really hope that Mark never lets that go either. It's just like, I have killed.
I can verify he won't, because at the same D&D event where Dungeon of the Mad Mage came out, we did a one-shot there of our show that was going on, Theogony at Kairos, and he guest starred as Baloth the Entertainer, and they fought a Tarrasque, and they caught it, and he took the Tarrasque to the Black Pit, and ever since then, Baloth has had a Tarrasque in the Black Pit. Believe me, you have not heard the last of that Baloth did that. Trust me.
I'm so happy.
100%.
So happy about that.
Although I know we don't have a ton of time, what else we also have not talked about is the sexy shadow boys of the Pagan Darth.
The sexy shadow
boys. I love it.
I mean, Braylon Janquay was turning a lot of heads there, you know, so that's why.
It's true. It's true. He was.
Inadvertently set a thirst trap in the caves.
So I know we talked a little bit about the Brigandarth with Sarah Thompson, but so Jarlaxel leads them.
Yep.
Did he start them? See, this is why I come up with those curveball questions.
It's true.
Because I'm like, wait,
History
founding. It was founded by Jarlaxel.
in the 10th century. So they were like 400 years of like swashbuckling. I will say that this the Jarlaxle picture on the Brigandarth wiki page looks sort of like a theater kid Calvin Klein ad.
Oh,
That
now I have to go to this.
Very accurate. Crop
Yeah.
vest. That's a little snug.
Little something. Yeah. I mean, but he's not
Oh.
full halter top Jarlaxle, but he's like, yeah.
Big spider belt buckle.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. He's that's Friday Night Jarlaxle.
Jarlaxle, hello. How are you?
Yeah. But yes, Brigandarth, they are ostensibly Drow mercenaries, but there are a couple of non-Drow members and honorary members of their band. They are pirates, mercenaries, kind of do whatever they got to do, like criminal, because Jarlaxle was very much an anti-hero too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I appreciate that I have not read all of Salvatore's novels, but that came up like a lot. You know, it came up with Artemis and Trary, Jarlaxle. You're like, oh, you're so terrible, but you're so cool. Maybe we just kind of hang out sometime. Okay, cool. You know?
Maybe I can fix him.
There was a good image on Twitter the other day. It had this body rising up and like a spirit form coming out of it, and it said, "My moral compass leaving my body when the villain is sexy."
I kept trying to find a way to get halter top Jarlaxel to show up in one of these games, and I never quite. There are two things I didn't accomplish that I wanted to.
No.
I didn't fit in Human's appearance, and I didn't fit in halter top Jarlaxel.
Oh.
But in my mind, halter top
future.
Jarlaxel wasn't in the Scarlet Marbanath. You know, like we didn't check.
Also, halter top Jarlaxel is living rent free in my brain for eternity now.
I mean, rightly so. Y'all, Google Jarlaxel and go to image search and see some of the old art, and you will see halter top Jarlaxel.
It's majestic.
Mm-hmm.
He likes and
A very
Brain-
large head.
Brain Darth has started out as being sort of male drow who were from houses that had collapsed or who had been pushed out of their houses
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
because they have less political power in the Underdark.
Yep.
And he's like, cool, let's just start a club. And now it's like
I-
mercenaries and pirates and stuff.
I do love there's a line in Waterdeep about the Brigand of Arth and Jarlaxle, and it says something like Jarlaxle is weary of allowing female drow into the group because he fears that all of the men will start taking orders from them.
The drow are a matriarchal
Yes.
society. So
Yeah.
I can see that.
yeah.
Though when my wife found that out, who was playing a female drow in that game, she went, "Oh, really?"
So now here, but this was another thing that it's like, I know they're like cast off of houses, but I thought, and it has been a while, I realize it's terrible for me to say out loud, since I've done a deep dive into drow politics, we should do that at some point. They're
Mm.
fascinating
They're
people.
very interesting.
And I'm not sure why the Underdark isn't overrun by vampires, because if I was a vampire,
Dude,
I would
right?
that's where I would go straight there and never leave.
That's the kind of lore hole I definitely want an episode to figure out. What's
Put
the
a-
answer?
Put a pin in that, we'll come
Put it
back
on the
to it.
list. We'll send an email to ourselves.
That's true. And forget that we did it. But my understanding of when there were these drow house takeovers, one of the things you had to do was you had to attack the house, and you had a single night, and you had to kill everyone.
Yeah.
And if anyone survived, then you theoretically were legally liable for them. It was one of those things like if there was no witnesses, nothing happened.
Mhm.
But like if one person made it out to say what happened, then you were like you were subject to the punishment of drow law. So I'm
Mhm.
like, if there's any stragglers, I'm like, I don't know how there are any. I guess unless they ran and didn't come back, I suppose.
I was gonna say like the sort of one word motto of the drow is survive, right? Like I feel like I totally buy like, hey, I'm a low ranked male drow, my
Mhm.
house is coming down, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Like they're going after the matrons first. They're gonna make sure the people in power are done. If you're the guy who's like,
The third son.
I'm just sitting here waiting for, the matron to tell me like what I'm supposed to do. Yeah, you're the third son of the third son, but technically you're still a member of House Deward, and you're like, bye. I
Mhm.
don't want to be here. Like, plausible.
Yeah.
But
Also,
yeah,
I
I don't
guess-
know. That's interesting because
Also-
that definitely feels correct.
Yeah. Also, maybe you just weren't home.
That's true.
Imagine that. Like
That's
you're coming
true.
back
And
from
what
the
are you
grocery
gonna
store,
do?
like carrying like some baguettes and some like cave radishes and flames. You're like,
Like, oh
Cave
no.
radishes. I don't know what that got me.
You think of like that situation, right? Like it's
Mhm.
similar to like, oh, it's like medieval times and you're the last princess in the thing. You're just like, there is no like the effort then of like, I'm gonna get a bunch of people to listen to me that this isn't okay and I need an army and stuff versus I go to complain and someone stabs me in the back and because
it's true. Yeah, no, we know what this is.
No,
Also,
the effort of this. Nah,
that was
I'm out.
that was Fraggle Rock callback number 2 today. There.
Oh my
Right
god,
over
it was.
Right there.
Ah.
Only thing better than a callback's a callback to a callback. Put it down.
Nicely done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's it. Now I almost have to come up with like a Zwerfnabelin community based on the Fraggles, though.
I'm very here for this.
It'd be like gnomes that were the Fraggles, but Zwerfnabelin that goes into Dark Crystal. Like you keep getting deeper in the mountain
Ooh.
and it keeps getting weirder.
Ooh.
What
Yeah.
would the doozers be? Because I feel like you need those. The little guys that build the things that
Yeah.
they eat.
The doozers are probably lesser elementals because they only do that one thing.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to clarify for Cassius335 and everyone else, as long as audio listeners, the other Fraggle Rock reference was before we started rolling.
Yeah. On Twitter.
Yeah. I did put it on Twitter.
Yeah, there's also one on Twitter.
It was the Welcome Home Uncle Matt song came up, but right before we went home, or right before we went live, which is objectively good. Like I feel like now to layer it in, I feel like the Welcome Home Uncle Matt song is like playing in Menzo Baranzin, and you come home and you're like, yay, we're having a party. It's an execution. You know? You're like, yay, and then all the lights go out. You're like, oh, hang on.
Because I'm definitely trying to end this on time today because Bardic Inspiration is starting right after us. Let's check out what Chad has been doing the whole time. Pale Master says, I think Melf had a worse night is going to have worse nightmares about gibbering maws.
Melf almost became one because again, if you get eaten by a gibber, that's where the maws come from. So it was on its way to an upgrade. And if you think I was not above executing a legendarily iconic character from Dungeons and Dragons, you do not know me at all. Yeah.
Brian Cotillo says, can we have someone dress up as Havilar and lip sync the recap drunk history style? And also, that is, I'm putting this on here now so that if it gets stolen, this idea came from me. I want to do drunk history, but it's people telling their D&D table stories as their characters.
That would be delightful.
I want to do it and be hilarious. Because I've totally drunk history in some of my D&D games.
Licorice and bad choices.
Yes.
It was that Huntmaster they were pouring up in there.
Storyteller Mars. Hey, Storyteller Mars. I'll see you later tonight. Says,
hey, Storyteller Mars.
So when is Alabaster Booty Clap coming to the game?
See,
I need it.
You put me in an awkward position here because he absolutely died and everyone saw it, and yet the world he had clones. Alabaster Booty Club clone. Boom. Done.
Perfect.
Yeah. Done. Somebody tell Dylan.
Dylan, it's happening.
Normally he'd be watching, I'm sure, but he's a busy day today with the spring extravaganza.
Eric Remy Jordan. Hello, Eric. How you doing?
Oh, hello, Eric
Hello.
Remy Jordan. Hey, Alabaster Booty Club. There you go. Also, you did this, Eric. When you're wondering how did this happen, I
just love how quick that was. Oh, hey, Eric. Alabaster Booty Club.
Alabaster Booty Clap. Sorry, but yes.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
Booty Club. That's a Booty Cloak.
Yeah. I know. I said it. I said Booty Club too. No, that's that guy. Screw that guy. Alabaster Booty Clap is the true power.
So he has question, what pronouns do beholders use? And I've kind of always left it up to whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're ostensibly.
A beholder being like, I don't use pronouns. Well, you always use my name.
We didn't talk about this. Aren't beholders born from other beholders' dreams? Isn't that like how it is?
Various
it's like some weird cosmic mind messery. So yeah, I've always played it as like it's whatever they say it is, and any other time I've always referred to beholders as they in a game.
Yeah, because I think biologically they're asexual. I think even Xanathar is the Xanathar.
Yep.
You know. Hang on. Let's see the notable beholders. Do we have any? Yeah, no, none of them seem to have. There's good luck pronouncing these. Glormaglula.
Sure.
Large Luigi.
Luigi.
A rare non-evil beholder who was one of the most enlightened entities in the multiverse. Womp womp. Maxim, Zabesh, and Xanathar.
So there is a beholder god called the Great Mother.
Ooh.
Who in the wiki article is she, her, but it sounds like the beholders don't have a name for this entity, and that the mother is more the fact that she's considered their progenitor. I bet in what language do beholders speak?
They're telepathic. They probably don't even talk to each other. I mean, they don't use words, rather. Yeah.
They just use images and
enjoy the
emotions.
idea. Oh, they do speak Beholder. Beholder,
Yeah.
Undercommon, and Deep Speech.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet there are no pronouns.
Well, yeah,
in
they're
Beholder
from
language.
Hakatha, the Beholder Discworld in the far reaches of realm space, where they're apparently like indoctrinated in being evil. Like they're not just born evil; they're actively taught to be evil.
This is another thing. Like beholders hate other beholders. The beholder at childhood and adolescence period cannot be very long, because otherwise, it's like those fish that lay eggs and they eat them.
Can you imagine Xanathar with like some big like wire braces on his face, and, like, one big thick glass and like acne as he's going through his awkward phase?
Oh my
Little notebook
god.
full of poetry.
I will create an infinite thief guild. I will destroy everyone. Yeah. Also,
That's 100% how he talks.
I did that. Hey, that's all Todd Kenrick, Xanathar. I did not do this. I did not do this, but inexplicably in the Beholder wiki, it's see also Cibrix.
Oh no.
Juicy Boys Unite.
No.
Juicy Boys Unite. Wait, hang on.
Oh
This does actually say
No,
that the
don't
Great
do
Mother
it.
is the source of other.
I know what he's
beholders.
doing. I don't want him to do
Oh,
it.
Magic
There it
Boy.
is.
There it
Ah.
Ugh.
There it is.
Oh. I hate
It's all dripping onto the disc there.
No,
With kids,
no.
boneyards. Hey, wait. These come out. These might be today. It was supposed to be the end of March, and we're fresh out of March. So there you go. The Whiz Kids Boneyards. If you can't get a Juicy Boy yet, you can be able to get one soon. It is so disgusting.
it.
Ugh.
The last two I'm going to read before we start doing our outro. Darkstrail says, Champions lore : how does it poop?
We're asking the real question.
We are. We come with the hard-hitting questions. And then lastly, Cassius335, a Bailoff versus Alabaster rematch would go great. Quote, I've killed you drunk. It would be a pleasure to kill you whilst we're sober.
There it is. Done.
Nice.
Yeah, well, we need a Bailoff Alabaster battle rap. That's it.
Oh, yes.
He is an entertainer.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
That is going to do it for this extra episode of Champions of Lore. B-Dave, Erin, where can people find you? What awesome things you're working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can catch me on Dungeon Scrawlers Wednesdays at 6:30 Pacific on twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers. Today we are doing our special archaeology themed episode as we explore Myth Draenor with our professional archaeologist DM. But I know that runs up against Spring Extravaganza actual play, so you can also catch it, the VOD on Twitch or on YouTube.
Yes. 9 to 9 all day today.
All day.
Like,
Yeah, it's a busy
just
day.
leave the tab open and something wonderful will be happening all day.
I like how you said that like Red Foreman on that subject. You can literally cruise the vista.
True. Too much good stuff.
Yep.
B. Dave Walters to say words about things. I'm somewhere doing something 7 days a week. Now I have to come up with more stuff just to have more opportunities to hang out with Erin. Maybe we should do like a podcast or something. I don't know.
Hey,
Podcast or something.
that's weird. Oh, wait, one of those got announced on Monday.
Oh. Yeah. Let me say one thing and then I will hand it back to you, Treavor, to announce one of the things that got announced. Two things. Really just one thing.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Black Dice Society, 4 Pacific. Tune in. Ravenloft. It's gonna be a whole thing. D&D, YouTube, and Twitch. We're gonna be doing a charity game for World Builders on the 10th, but I got time to talk about that next week. That's the next thing. This is tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Please be there.
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the three of us announced on Monday that we're doing another podcast. We're going to be doing a podcast called Writing About Dragons and Shit, because that's what we do.
Literally.
And I do say that some people were confused.
Direct.
This is not a show about writing D&D adventures. It's about writing fantasy. But so that's going to be starting up soon. You can follow the show on Twitter at About Dragons. We'll find out when we're going to start stuff up, and you can send some questions and stuff. And there's going to be a lot of tangents. There's going to be a lot of tangents.
Very
That's where the treasure
structured.
is.
We'll have an outline, very just beat by
The
beat
script.
by beat. We'll just knock it out.
Yeah, so go check that out for sure. I did love that earlier. Somebody put in the chat, it was our Green Paradox. B-Dave knows how to do everything but say no to a project, and that's...
Yo, look at me, okay? Wait, first of all, I have a number of questions. How dare you?
Well, this is the funny thing.
No. Just because it's true doesn't mean you get to say it, okay?
No, B-Dave, I haven't told you this. So I originally pitched the show to Erin, and she was like, you should 100%. I was thinking about seeing if B-Dave wanted to do it. And she's like, you should 100% do it. So I emailed you. And because I told her, I'm like, I don't know, he's like really busy. And then you're like, I'm down. I'm like, oh.
Also, here's the worst part about it. I literally, like, I will look in the mirror and I'll be like, okay, no more projects. We're good. We're full up. In literally today, after this, phone call about a new project. It's just
Yeah. But yeah, I hope
People want what they want.
I hope you all are excited about that. Be sure to follow us on the Twitters, not the Twittergrams, because we didn't make a gram because we're writing, and that would be weird to post pictures of. Let's see. You could also find me on. Yeah, that will be the pictures. It's just us doing this. Yeah,
it's all just gifs of cats banging on keyboards. Yeah.
You can until then you can catch me on the podcast difficulty class every Friday, and you can catch me tonight with Storyteller Mars presents A Fistful of Death, where I'll be playing Garlock again. The gang's getting back together, and speaking of that, right after this, Bardic Inspiration Live, 12 to 1. After that, 1 to 3 is Mars' Guiding Hand. 3 to 5, Garwar's Guide to Everything. 5 to 6, Margaret's magnificent dev Q&A, and then Storyteller Mars presents A Fistful of Death. I'm super excited. I hope you all stick around for that because it's going to be a blast. Thank you to Jay, as always, for modding and doing a fantastic job. And thank you to Codename Entertainment for letting us talk about some D&D, especially extra D&D this week. If you missed any part of the show, it's still going up today as a podcast at 2 p.m. That's right. I'm going to work on this as soon as we're done here, like always. It's a Monday, but it's a Wednesday. It's confusing. What's up, E-Dave?
I need to say thank you to Jay and Sasha for modding Idle Champions Presents.
Yes.
I think I only said that out loud once, but thank you. Thank you for that. Helping wrangle our particular chaos cat.
That is what chat should be called, particular chaos cats. Yeah, and if you have any suggestions for future topics that you want to hear us talk about, you want to hear us talk about more about Beholder's Poop, I don't know, send it into Champions Lore, codenameentertainment.com. But yeah, stick around for the rest of the day. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, until next week. Oh, got one more?
I bet they poop in cubes like sloths do.
Oh my god.
Take that with you until next week.
Why did you have
You're welcome. Think about it. Think about it.
Until next week, Champions out.